So we'll be moving to a buffet in just a few minutes, but we will be releasing the tables into one of our 2 buffet lines. For those of you that made a request of a special dietary restricted meal, you'll notice that you have a sticker on your name tag. You will need to approach one of the Clancy Restaurant Group's staff, and they will serve you a meal from the kitchen. They have a hot cooked meal out of the kitchen for you. So I think since we have a few folks getting beverages out back, and there'll be time to do that throughout the morning here. But today is made possible with support from all of you, obviously, all of our table hosts, our sponsors that are here. Lots of other folks make today possible. The Purdue Extension folks here have been very, very helpful. The Hamilton County facilities staff has been fantastic to work with to make today possible. Our friends from Hamilton County Television, Jim Wofford, Logan Street Signs and Banners is out back. And today's program will be recorded. It will be available for you to view on the Hamilton County Television website beginning at 3 o'clock today. So if you missed something, you have a chance to catch it in reruns. I know that if I was a pastor, you'd all quiet down when I stepped onto the stage. So it's not quite a pastor, but we're going to try something else, and we're going to ask our friends from Hamilton County Tourism and their CEO, Brenda Myers, to join me up on stage. See? They love you, Brenda.
I feel that tourism is a religion, so I really feel good about this. Welcome, everybody. Thanks, Bob, for letting us be a part of the All-County Luncheon. Tourism is really important to the economic vitality of Hamilton County and saves each one of you almost $1,000 a year in taxes. And visitors spend almost $1 billion in this county every year, which is why you have a coin purse in front of you. If you'll open your coin purse, you'll see some stats about tourism. You'll see information about the upcoming bicentennial next year. I know that the commissioners are going to talk about this, so I won't spoil their. And you'll also hear more about the 200th anniversary of David Highway's favorite topic, the Squirrel Stampede. Finally, we are going to celebrate might not be the word, the Squirrel Stampede. But one of you at each table has a gift card or a gift from one of our partners ranging from $5 to $50. So everybody open your packet. Yay! I know, this is But I hope this will encourage all of you to go out and support all of the amazing attractions, restaurants, parks, and facilities that we have at Hamilton County, because we are a great place to live and a great place to visit. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Hamilton County Tourism is our afternoon, folks. We thank you for your patience in getting through with so many folks. It takes a little bit of time to get through a buffet line. We appreciate your patience in doing so. Continue to eat your lunch, but we do want to move on to the program. There's a whole lot of stuff that you came to hear, and so we don't want you to miss out on any of it. Again, I want to remind you that it is being recorded today, and Hamilton County Television will have it available later today on their website in case you miss any of the information. You get a chance. You also, if you know someone that's not here, share that link with them. so they can catch it. Thank you, Jim Wofford, for making things happen. This new sound system here, I don't want to step on thunder, but it's super wonderful. And the folks from Blades AV have been really helpful for the chamber, trying to figure out how do we plug into this new system here. So thank you very much for being here all day yesterday and today. We have a couple of door prizes that we'll do at the end and let you know, but David Highway is over there on the far wall, our friend, the county historian. He has a new book, Hidden History of Hamilton County, available. And I think it's $21.99, 20 bucks. We're going to give away 4 of these. David is a wealth. He's a real treasure to our community. And if you haven't had a chance to meet him, I'd ask you to take some time and go over and meet David. Purchase one of his books. It's a great read. It's fun. It's interesting. And then David can even embellish a little bit beyond that, or whatever. But we're going to give you a chance to win a couple of those books. We have our Women in Noblesville annual leadership luncheon coming up on July 27th at Mustard Seed. We have the CEO of SMC, Kelly Stacy, speaking, as well as 2 other speakers that lead women's mentoring organizations. And so we invite you to go on our website and learn a little bit more about that event. Something new this year is that event is also going to make the first award of the Woman of Impact for Noblesville. And so we're looking forward to that time. And when we're talking about awards, we'll let you know that the Chamber is announcing, in partnership with the City of Noblesville, Advancing Noblesville Awards, which are recognizing the good work of businesses, individuals, and organizations here in our community. Those nominations open up on July 4th and will stay open for the month. And the presentation of those awards will happen on November 17th. So there's a lot of good work that goes in all of our communities in Hamilton County, and this is our chance just to simply recognize some of the people here that serve the Noblesville area along the way. You're here for the state of the county, but I know a lot of you also are very interested in the state of the city of Noblesville. And the state of the city is scheduled for September 28th with Mayor Jensen. Like today, we sold out. That event will sell out as well. Registration will open in about a month, is what I expect. And the mayor wants to see a full house. Isn't that correct? Yes. So we'll do the same. So make sure you stay in contact with us for that. And then I guess the last thing that I'd like to make mention of is our superintendent of schools. For those of you that aren't from Noblesville, you've probably heard a little bit about our Noblesville schools being fantastic, as like a lot of our school districts here in Hamilton County. But our superintendent is leaving her role in just a matter of days. And so she was on our board of directors for her entire term here, 8 years in Noblesville for the chamber. And our chamber board has made a decision to help fund. There's a scholarship in her name that is through the Noblesville School Foundation, and it's to recognize equity and inclusion work of a student, a high school student, and our chamber is making a substantial donation to that fund in your name, Dr. Niedermeyer. So we want to say thank you so much for your service to our chamber, but more importantly, your service to this community, and not just the schools, but the community as a whole. You've done a fantastic job. We've had a chance over the past month to say our thanks in a lot of different ways. Sagamore, the Wabash, presented to you the Hamilton County Leadership Academy, distinguished honorary alum as well. But I understand that tomorrow it's declared as Beth Niedermeyer Day, Dr. Beth Niedermeyer Day here in Noblesville. So if you don't have a chance to say thank you to Dr. Niedermeyer privately, right now would be a chance to say thank you with your applause for her great service to the community. Could you stand up? Thank you. Enjoy your retirement. You have served our community so well, and we're so grateful, and we look forward to the new leadership that comes with this type of change, but we know that we'll see a bit of you around in this new role that you'll have, so thank you. I'd like to now turn to the program, which you've come for. Like we mentioned earlier, Commissioner Dillinger could not be here. He's a little bit under the weather, but Christine Altman and Mark Erbrandt, our other commissioners, it's a team approach. And when we learned that the commissioner couldn't be here, I tell you, they've been here all day yesterday working to make this program work. And so we're thankful for you're willing to pivot and be available for here. But I'm excited to see the program. I saw bits and pieces of it yesterday. And there's so much good that happens in Hamilton County. And this is your chance to learn about it, explore it a little bit more. So I'd like to ask you to come on up and present the 2022 State of the County.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob. Everybody hear me? I'd like to welcome everyone here to the State of the County. Christine and I were really excited to share with you some of the exciting things that are going on here in the county.
And we would not be here or have a polished presentation but for the work of Commissioner Dillinger, who spent a whole lot of time working on the presentation, which we have put half on the cutting room floor, just because we could. But we had a lot of partners that helped us with this. Dusty, if you could pull through. Of course, thank you to the Chamber. What a nice event, and thank you for activating this room of the fairgrounds. The tablecloths, it looks very, very nice, and thank you so much. And then Envoy, we have a table sponsor, Envoy. They have worked with us over the years to make this presentation work, but probably the hardest workers were Amanda and Carly, who are with us today. Thank you so much for your time and talent. But I like to highlight the talent we have at the county, which we always take the position, we don't look good unless the people we hire are extremely competent and professional, and we have two of the best people who have worked their little fingers to the bone trying to make this work. And Dustin and Byron, thank you so much for your work. It really, you'll see how good this presentation has turned out.
I just have to tell you that I just got off the phone with Steve Dillinger, and there's nobody more disappointed that he couldn't be here today than him. But I have to tell you that he's probably more sick that he can't be here than what he is with COVID on here. But I just wanted to share with you a little bit about the conversation that I had with him the other day. He called me Sunday night, and he said, Mark, he goes, I just tested positive. And we got the State of the County coming up here on Wednesday. And he goes, I've been thinking about, is there a possibility I can do it virtually? But then I thought, I really can't get the message across if I do it virtually. And so I said, well, have you thought of any other options? I said, have you seen, the movie The Boy in the Bubble? Or have you seen Bubble Boy? I said, one thing we could do is we could put a big bubble up here, and you could come in and you could do the State of the County, and then you could tell everybody about the great things happening there. So when you see him the next time, call him Bubble Boy on there. This thing's been going on for 34 years. Steve's been doing it for 34 years. And the first one that was done was over at the bowling alley here on 32 at the Stardust Bowl is what it was called. That was the first day that you could actually buy Hoosier Lottery tickets, so it was kind of an exciting day. He had 34 people that were in attendance at that time for the State of the County. But to put it in perspective, 34 years ago, I had a mullet. So, you gotta play it. You gotta play it. You gotta play Top Gun.
I tried to encourage him just to whip off his jacket, but I can't get him to.
I thought about it. I thought about some dance moves with it too. But anyway, Christine.
Well, I've had a few changes also. 34 years ago, I had a 2-year-old instead of an 8-year-old that I have now, and I had a different husband, and I had a 24-inch waist. A few changes.
Let's get serious and talk a little bit about Government 101. what the role of the Hamilton County Commissioners are. We are actually the executive and legislative branch of county government. We're kind of like, we have the same type of powers as what a mayor does in a lot of instances. So next slide. Representing District 1, obviously, is Christine Altman. She was on the county council in 19...
Lost you.
There we go. She was on the county council in 1996 from 2002, and also has been a commissioner since 2003. One thing that we say about Christine is she's an attorney by trade, but she talks a lot and gets into the weeds way too much, and we have to warn her that, you know, she's not getting paid by the hour here as an attorney here. So
Details count, okay? That's how we earn a living.
yes, and then and she represents the city of Carmel and the Clay Township area. Then we have Steve Dillinger. He is the longest-standing county commissioner in the state of Indiana. Wealth of knowledge about Hamilton County. He represents the city of Fishers, city of Noblesville, Delaware, and Noblesville townships. And he was on the city council in 1980 to 1984, county council from 85 to 83, and he's been a county commissioner since 1989. I call him Grandpappy. He calls me the junior commissioner. So District 3, myself, I've been in office since 2013. I kind of represent, the city of Westfield, Washington Township, the whole northern part of Hamilton County, which is Sheridan, Cicero, Arcadia, Atlanta, and then all of Fall Creek Township. But when we are elected, we have to run at large, so it's a county-wide thing. So next slide. The one thing that I just wanted to say about county commissioners, I've traveled the state and I've worked with a lot of mayors and county commissioners throughout the state for the last 22 years, but it's kind of unprecedented, the teamwork. This is a team, without a doubt. And a lot of people don't realize that we spend a lot of times with our mayors. We have dinners with them. We talk about legislative issues. We talk about some of the things that we can do on road funding with joint applications and how we can better the community on here. So that's one of the things that I wanted to express, that it's just not one or two people. This is a team effort that makes Hamilton County what it is.
And as Mark said, I started out on the county council, which is a body of 7 members. 3 are voted at large, and then 4 are districted. As a commissioner, I had to learn to count to 2 very quickly to get any type of anything done. It's much different than city government because it is collaborative. And the difference between county and city government is the commissioners are fiscal and legislative, are executive and legislative, and council holds the purse strings. So we can come up with whatever project we think is wonderful, but we have to convince a majority of our fellow elected officials on the council. And right now we're working very well together. I appreciate the collaborative effort. We have Steve Schwartz, Ken Alexander, Fred Glynn, Amy Maslamani, Brad Beaver, Sue Mackey, and Steve Nation. If you would go ahead and stand and be recognized also.
Stand. Let's talk a little bit about infrastructure. There's a lot of it going on if you travel around the county. We'd first like to recognize Brad Davis, who is our highway director. He is responsible for a lot of these projects and does a fantastic job. He came from NDOT and knows a lot about how to get funding, works really extensively with the local communities that we have here to get some of these projects done.
He's very good at maneuvering. Thank you, Brad.
One of the things that we thought that we'd spend a little bit of time on is State Road 37, because State Road 37 is one of the biggest projects that the county has ever endeavored. And this is a very, very important and a transformational project that we have for the county. This takes the partnership of NDOT, because this is a state road, Hamilton County, the city of Fishers, and the city of Noblesville. This collaboration, I wanted to talk a little bit about how this all developed. This is a state road. we continued for years to go to the state to explain to them about some of the traffic backups that we have through here. Some of the accidents that were happening along that corridor, if you want to hit the slide there. You can remember that these backups were real. And there was a lot of accidents. The east to west traffic was horrible trying to get through there. And we found that a lot of people were taking alternative roads, such as Cumberland and Allisonville Road, and they were tearing up the local roads because they didn't want to go on State Road 37. So we lobbied hard down at the state for funding. They came back to us. I think this is an interesting slide. It was $1.99 for gas at the time, and that wasn't that long ago. But
those were the good old days.
Yeah, those were the good old days, but it wasn't that long ago. But so anyway, we had to lobby hard down there. Well, finally, we got their attention because they said they had no money. So finally, we went down there. They said, we've got an option for you. They showed us what they were going to do with State Road 37. They were going to put Michigan lefts all the way from 126th Street all the way to 32. Those are the J-turns, similar to what you see at 96th and Keystone. That is what they were going to put in there. We said no. That can't happen. But remember, they said they didn't have any money. So we asked them, well, how much is this going to cost? And they said $100 million. So that's where we came up. Scott Fadness and I were walking down the stairs. He said, oh, this is a horrible meeting. And I said, no, this was a great meeting. They told us they had $100 million to put into this. And now we're going to use this to leverage this corridor and build what we need to build to protect these businesses where these people work in Hamilton County. And so anyway, as you can see, this is the design that we have at 126th Street. Right now, this was finished back in just about a little over a year ago. And if you could show the video, we'll show you how this is operating now. As you can see, there's a lot of traffic really on here, but the east to west traffic right now is incredible. There's no traffic signals at all. There's walkable paths that you have from east to west that we never had before, so you can ride bicycles and so forth through there as well. The next piece, this was finished in November of 2020, and the cost of that interchange was $22 million.
That cost looks really good right now.
Very good.
Really good.
The next one that we have is at 131st Street. Christine, you want to take this one?
Yeah, that's a combination of 131st and 135th to make that work together. That's the rendering. There we go, keep going. And we are very close to completion on that. Keep going, if you would. There we go. Here you can see we're almost complete. When I first saw that, I thought, well, certainly we didn't forget a roundabout. And then I figured out when we flew it, we were fine. But it's the same configuration, free-flowing traffic on both ends, and most importantly, those visuals show that the traffic moves. Makes such a difference. And a lot of this funding that we've gotten is CMAQ money, which is money that mitigates pollution and congestion and that type of thing, and that's a special pot.
This project will be completed in the summer here of 2022, and that cost of those intersections is $30 million. And then we go to the next one, which is a big one, which is 146th Street. I have to tell you, I was a little worried about this one when we started the construction on this because there's a lot of traffic that goes through this one, but we're really pleased. This is what this looked like before, and then we're going to show you a video of what this looks like today, and you can see significant progress on here. And the thing that is really interesting is, you know, knock on wood, I really haven't gotten a lot of complaints about 37 and the traffic on there. It's because we had over 80 meetings with homeowners associations, businesses, things like that, to really understand what we needed to do to make traffic flow. And as you can see, this flows very nicely, but this is what this interchange will look like when it is completed.
I think it's important to note on this corridor, we started in about 2010, 2009 with a mobility study, and that showed what we could do with the corridor. However, those traffic counts turned out to be traffic counts in that era, and we've grown since then. So this was originally designed as a double roundabout application like you saw in the other renderings and that we've constructed. NDOT, to their credit, they're a partner, they said, no, you have to have a 20-year fix, and you need to go back through, do traffic counts. So we had to stop mid-design when they found out the traffic counts truly had changed, and redesign this to a single-point urban intersection. It kind of made us cry a little bit because we wanted to have a signal-free corridor, but it just isn't possible with that traffic count.
You know, the thing that really blew NDOT away was when they did when the traffic modeling was done, they couldn't believe the explosive growth that's up here. And that was kind of an eye-opener to all of them. But the cost on this, it's going to be completed here in fall of 2022 with an original cost. It's going to be $30 million, and we're on schedule. And then finally, we have the interchange at 141st Street. We did just bid this. As you can see with some of the market, some of the supply chain issues, fuel costs has went up. This is a heavily excavated area that's going to need to be done. So diesel fuel is doubled on here. So right now, it's pending right now because we've identified where some of those risks, there's a lot of utility risks that are there that it escalated the price. So we are going to go ahead, we're going to move forward, get the utilities done, and then rebid it so that we can take a lot of that risk out of it. Right. And so we're waiting on that. So anyway, Christine?
Yeah, like I said, when we started, lots have been made about the cost overrun on this project. But there's certain things that we held fast to, and I think when you enjoy the product when it's finished, and more importantly, the generations to come will appreciate that we didn't take matters a negative direction and reduce the scope of the project. So it's just a lot of things we started with, the mobility structure or study didn't have us having 37. It was originally elevated. We had to depress it. That had a chain reaction effect on cost and schedule that included enhanced drainage, more cost allowed on that. But we made a commitment to the residents and the businesses that we felt critical to uphold. And that's that we would have as much as possible level viewing so we maintain the health and integrity of the businesses and the communities.
Drainage was a big piece of this too. We wanted to have gravity feed rather than having pumps there, and that we listened to the business owners because they wanted to be seen. So we lowered it as well on there. The one point that I want to make to you is that the county, I've been with the county for 9 years now, and I will tell you, we very rarely ever have a project go over budget. You never hear about the ones that are under budget. And I have dozens of them to tell them. We'll talk about one of them here. But on this particular project, this had to happen, and it's unfortunate with some of the inflation and things, but this is going to be a transformational project here in the county, and we're really proud of what this project is going to be.
Talk about utilities and how we're addressing on 141st Street. Honestly, if there's a utility in Hamilton County, I think we dug it up on 141st
exactly.
Street and 100. It's just difficult with what's going on with utilities.
One of the things that Commissioner Dillinger was emphatic that we talk a little bit about is the integrity in campaigning. We just came off of an election here in the primary, and one of the things that was very disturbing was there was a lot of things that were misleading that was put out there. Don't believe what's on social media because a lot of it's probably not true. But you never look good by trying to make someone else look bad. And I will tell you, I know Steve, when he runs a campaign, he doesn't get into the hate. He doesn't get into that. He offers solutions. And as Republicans, we should not be fighting against each other and making up things that are not true.
Talk about what the good you did and then be judged on that. I think we're doing a fairly good job with the AAA rating from Standard & Poor. The council's guidance, we've got a significant surplus that will be very important, I think, if we go through another recessionary cycle.
I just wanted to say on this AAA bond rating, I don't think anyone really understands the importance of this to be able to have this. We have a AAA bond rating not only with property taxes, but also with lit. We're the only county in the entire state of Indiana that has a AAA bond rating. That is a big, big deal. And we're one of the only counties even in the Midwest that even has this. It just shows strong financial capabilities that we have here. A lot of that is really contributed to our county council and it being a watchful eye and making sure that we have plenty of reserves.
And how that translates to you as taxpayers is it drives down your borrowing cost because of the security of that rating.
Okay. I put this one up here because this job can be stressful, okay? But one thing that I've said since I came into office is that if I'm going to do this, I want to have fun, you know? So a lot of times we get in stressful situations in executive session. We'll have disagreements and things like that, but this is one that I just took that was an exec session of, you know, Commissioner Dillinger likes some lollipops every now and then. And so really to kind of get the mood and get us off of it and get us refocused. And that's a saying, who loves you, baby? That's Dillinger for you. 146th and Allisonville Road. This is one that we really, after talking to a lot of doing homeowners association meetings, businesses and things like that, seeing some of the traffic counts that we've seen there, we knew that we needed to address this sooner than later. As you can see during rush hour, this thing is backed up for miles on here, and it was something that definitely needed to be addressed. This is the new proposed conceptual design of what this will look like. It's really, really cool. This is looking northwest at the interchange and being able to go underneath it, but 146th Street will go over. This is just another view looking from the southwest of the interchange. We'll show you a brief video here of what this could look like. You'll notice that you've got the multi-use paths along here. Traffic's moving, you know, very easily through here. This will be a huge amenity to this, but the topography, if you really look at this, you know,
I think
particular
we sped
project.
it up. Those people are really good. They're under it.
But it's really a good visual, and I thank United for putting this together so that you could visually see what this will look like when this project is completed.
Let's go chase those people again. I would
Yes.
think so. It'll
Yes,
be
it's a
Wi-Fi
nice
connected to
it's
your
a nice
devices.
calming effect is what it is. But thank you, United and Browning Day, for
For
putting
putting
that together for us.
Now,
Go ahead.
part of the thing, or part of this project will be a reconstruction of the existing bridge over White River at 146th Street. And one thing we were very, very adamant about with our designers is that is such a beautiful area. And right now, for safety reasons, I mean, there's concrete, you can't see the river. In the redesign, it'll be a beautiful visual corridor as you go across, which we're excited about.
I saw you clapping, Brenda. You're right. The
Okay,
construction cost, this will start in the spring of 2023. It'll be completed in the fall of 2024. Construction costs are about $35.8 million. And what was really cool about this was the funding that we got from the MPO on this, which at that time was one of the largest federal contributions that we've ever gotten.
Well, there's always good news and bad news. And the bad news is we're going to have to close Allisonville at that intersection for 90 days. And we hope we can do it more quickly. But to drive down to 45 days was an inordinate cost. And we have a table of Conner Prairie people. I'm on the board. I mean, it's going to be difficult for folks during that closure and during construction. So please open up your checkbooks and go to Conner Prairie, please.
Yeah.
That's one.
Next, we're going to talk a little bit about 146th Street, the west reconstruction. But first, before we go through that, I wanted to explain when 146th Street, there was a vision that we needed to have a thoroughfare from I-65 all the way to I-69. And so it was just really a two-way highway in a lot of
We
cases.
started this when I first went on council. We had not been proactive as a county using tools for borrowing that we can use. And we finally sat there and said, these roads are crumbling. We've got to do something. And so we started a process with the cooperation of council at that time to do some significant borrowing to not only start this project, but other bridges that were just desperately needed.
This really shows over on the west corridor, and we'll show you some photos of what this thing looked like before and then after. And it's a major difference. These are 4 different phases that we did. This is 146th Street looking west before. We had stop signs, at a lot of these places, but we have just grown, and we're going to show you a figure on here, 300%. Just since 2000 on theirs. But this is what this corridor looks like completed, running from Spring Mill all the way to the Boone County line, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's multi-use paths along this for bikes and pedestrians.
As you see the photos, notice how we have frontage roads. We learned a lot when we did the eastern portion. When we started to the west, we didn't have quite the development up to the road that, as you saw. So we made a determination to spend the extra money on right-of-way and on pavement to put in those frontage roads. Under the theory, we can allow as many road cuts onto that frontage road as you want, but we did not want to disturb the free flow of traffic east-west. So that's why you see that design element on this side.
That cost, which actually looks like a bargain, was $39.3 million when you look at that. But now it's Boone County's turn to take it from the County Line Road all the way to I-65. Let's talk about 146th Street. One of the things that's a challenge to us is with the explosive growth that we've had here in Hamilton County is Cary Road, Hazeldale, and Gray. We've identified those areas that there needs to be an interchange in those particular areas. But that is what that looked like, that slide before that. That's what that road looked like, 146th Street back in 1998. So major change if you go through that corridor right now. Like I said, 300% growth that we've had. And so, and 2 of the top 3 crash sites, even though, because, driver error.
Yeah, we're a victim of our own success by putting this corridor in with the increase in traffic and the few signalized intersections. It's not going to be an easy or cheap fix, but something we need to start programming to get that done for safety and mobility.
One of the biggest things that the first project that we're going to be looking at is Hazeldale. That's going to come up here in just a second. This is a conceptual design done by Butler Fairman of what this interchange will look like, with 146th Street going over the top and Hazeldale going underneath it. This is one of our high priorities. It's in design right now, and then we'll go after funding to complete that.
And we are big believers that if you have shelf-ready projects, your queue line is a lot shorter for federal funds, and we're glad we have this under design with the infrastructure bill that has gone through Congress. Again, most of these things, we have great ideas, we just need money, and we try to position ourselves the best we can to be able to pick up the federal dollars as they come through.
Mm-hmm. Next thing that we'll talk about a little bit is about Pleasant Street and what the county's role in this. A lot of this is really driven by the city of Noblesville, and as their partner, our responsibility is to complete the Pleasant Street Bridge that will go over White River. This is a big deal to downtown Noblesville. If you see some of the traffic congestion that we're having there from their explosive growth as well, and also sometimes just the congestion on 32 can go all the way back to Hague Road during rush hour. So putting in this and kudos to the city of Noblesville for taking the initiative and finally getting this done, because this has taken years. It's been talked about for years. But kudos to the administration for pushing this through on here.
We're going to have to pick up our pace. Just an indication of where things will align. Our big circle is the bridge. So we can keep.
This is just a view along the Pleasant Street corridor and
As
what
we
this will
approach the
look
bridge.
like. This is east along the anticipated corridor. And this is the bridge that will be constructed over White River. And we'll show you a couple conceptual drawings here.
It's a big bridge.
Yes, but it's going to be a beautiful bridge. And we'll have a multi-use path along that as well for pedestrian walkway and trail connectivity. There'll also be decorative lighting along that as well.
But the more fun thing, and we've asked the help of tourism, is the White River Vision Plan. This is a perfect area to activate the river with people on canoes and kayaks. The panels in there, we have an ability to put on messages about Hamilton County, whether they're historic. We've asked for their creative ideas to really make this pop. And there's the trail connectivity that's so critical, especially, we have the value and the detriment of the river. This gets you across and for mobility.
The cost of the bridge is going to be about $17 million and will be complete in 2024. Let's move on and let's talk a little bit about some of the capital projects that we have going on. Just some of the ripple effect that's going to happen because of Pleasant Street on there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Everyone knows where the Humane Society used to be. We've got a new facility now that's over off of, it's a beautiful state-of-the-art facility over off of Hague Road now. So that building is vacant. So we are going to be, we're going to lose the household hazardous waste and soil and water that you see in red.
With the Noblesville improvements.
And then we're going to renovate the household hazardous, or the Humane Society for household hazardous waste, as well as soil and water and weights and measures. Also, with this ripple effect, we're going to lose the 4-H Winks building and the 4-H Annex as well. So that leads me up to the next part of this, is that there really hasn't been significant investment in our 4-H fairgrounds for 25 years. And so the next step is Susan Peterson, who's the executive director, been there for 33 years and does a fantastic job. But one of the things that we looked at from a county standpoint and the county council was, should we look at building back on this site, or should we look for a new site to be able to put a new fairgrounds? And it was decided that we need to maximize the space that we have here. So we had a master plan that was completed by Musset Nicholas that we had, and they did a fantastic job listening to us to develop a strategy to address life science issues there and make this more appeasable for rental and weddings and other events that we have here. The first phase of that's going to be about $21 million. The prospective cost is somewhere around $63 million. We know we're not going to be able to do all of that, so we're going to have to bite it off in chunks, but it will replace the Winks, the Annex building, from the Pleasant Street improvements, as well as it'll do upgrades to the exhibition hall and improvements of the classrooms. That's another conceptual design looking from the southeast of Pleasant, what that might look like, as well as from west from Clover, also towards the fairgrounds.
Hopefully you've all seen the parking garage. Their instrumental players were Dan Stevens and Steve Wood. Kept that thing going on schedule, on target. This took a big partnership. It's one of the biggest 3P deals we've ever done. We had to sell property to a developer on the south lot so we could activate that parcel in a way it should be because it's on the river. We traded with Noblesville on the north lot for uses in the parking garage, and then we did a bot for the parking garage itself.
What
We
were
opened
able to
it.
go- Yeah, go ahead.
When we opened it, there it is, cut the ribbon.
One of the things, the construction started back in 2021, and we completed it in May of 2022. As you can see, this is an absolutely beautiful building. A lot of compliments. It really accents downtown Noblesville on here. The cost of this particular project was $12.1 million. We offset that by the sale of the south parking lot, which was $4.5 million. And I will tell you that that particular project came under budget. It's unheard of in these times. There's 483 parking spots on there, and what's really nice is we're able to park all of our county employees there, jurors that come for jury duty during regular hours, and then also have this available on the weekends for anybody, the public that wants to go there, or on the weekdays after 5. And I will tell you, coming in and working on Saturdays, it's amazing how many people use that parking garage now for the farmers market.
And we're also able to release a surface parking in front for Noblesville to do permit parking for this organization, for entities that need it for workers, et cetera. I mean, we just needed to have capacity during the day too. We had a concern over nefarious activities on the 4th of July because it's kind of an attractive nuisance to set off fireworks. So we devised a plan of, well, let's just activate it on the 4th with a philanthropic partner, Good Samaritan. If you go to the next slide, you might want to shoot that barcode with your phone because you can reserve one of the car loads, which they'll be limited to 35, to park on the lower level, take your lawn chair up on top, and watch fireworks.
This will be a great view for the fireworks in Noblesville to be up there on that top of that building. Pretty cool. One of the things that's unfortunate that happened right before our ribbon cutting on this, the night before, we had somebody that decided to throw paintballs on this brand new structure. As you go through here, the good thing is we have cameras, video of this perpetrator that came there, and they're pretty clear, as you're going to see here on this photo. But unfortunately, we were fortunate to get a lot of this off, but if we have to replace that, it could be somewhere around $3 million. So if you recognize who this person is, please come forth and let us know. We expect an arrest to happen very soon.
Tourism. There we go, Brenda. We showed Conner Prairie, the Tree Post Adventure. She is the guru of tourism. She shared some of those facts before, what the importance of tourism to this county. They are 85% recovered from the pandemic. The pandemic was absolutely hideous to the tourism industry as a whole and to the tourism professionals we have in town. But we're almost there. But we have a lot of product in this county that can be advertised. Ruoff, Grand Park, just beautiful cities and towns that have built their own identities. And here's a quick clip.
In Hamilton County, Indiana, no matter what day of the week it is, the weekend is always on tap. Drink and dine, look and listen, explore and play. Any day of the week. Why wait for the weekend? Visit Hamilton County, Indiana, where the weekend is closer than you think.
They do a great job advertising.
They do a fantastic job. Great job.
We invested $30 million of our American Recovery Plan dollars into tourism to help them regain the footing they lost. In partnership with Hamilton County Economic Development Corp., we're doing some exciting things with workplace attraction with respect to workers and with filling jobs that we need to have filled, plus doing reentry programs for folks that are visiting our jail. In May, we had 16,000 open positions in this county, which is not healthy as you're trying to grow your economy. So we're working diligently to help remedy that problem. Bicentennial. We're going to get older, as we all do. But anyway, this should be fun, fun, fun. Again, Brenda's helped us with this process. We'll have public events. Each township will have their own thing they can do, commemorative book, and we'll turn out, and you can go to that website to figure out the exciting activities we'll have. This should be fun.
I want to recognize the Indianapolis International Airport. We have a lot of their board members as well as administration that are here. We've got 2 tables. Steve Dillinger, a lot of people don't realize, he's been on that board for well over 20 years. And the positive things that are coming from that, everyone knows about all the multiple awards that they've had there at the airport, and what a great amenity. But I have to give credit to their staff. They have just joined One Zone. They're a premier sponsor. They felt like they really needed to get engaged here in the community and know the clientele that they have here in Hamilton County. And I'd like at this time, if you could please recognize both the tables right here and the outstanding job that they do there at the airport. Thank you for being here. You guys mean the world to Steve Dillinger, I'm just going to tell you.
Yes, you do.
Here's a short video.
Despite the slowdown in air traffic, we continue to prioritize infrastructure projects. In fact, we got the largest federal grant in the entire nation, $66 million, which is helping to refurbish one of our runways. As with other capital projects, this one brings many high-paying jobs to our local economy. In addition, we've also received $3.8 million from the United States Department of Economic Development to support distribution and logistics in central Indiana.
Thank you again for being here. Let's talk a little bit about our county parks.
The squirrel logo again because of the stampede. Chris Stice is our director now of the parks, replaced Al's position and doing a gangbuster job. New acquisitions, HC Farms property, 216 and Hinkle Road. This is up in the northern part of the county where we need to beef up a bit on parks without jurisdictions that are there. 106 acres, but what's cool is this is a unique, beautiful parcel, and it's in the path of development. We were able to secure that with fee in lieu of mitigation fee in lieu on wetlands, and we hope to use those monies also to build out the wetlands and the ecology, et cetera. It's going to be it's a beautiful parcel now, but it'll be really user-friendly when we're finished. Burr Oak Bend. Burr Oak was acquired initially by the Land Trust. They purchased it, we purchased it for $93,000 with severe commitments that we will continue their work on preservation and activation.
Katawee Park. If you've ever been to Katawee Park, that is an absolute gem that we have here in Hamilton County.
It is a state park in a county.
Wherever I go throughout the state, a lot of people talk about all the things that you can do there, from horseback riding to tubing to archery to zip line to fishing to canoeing, you name it. It has it there at that park, and what a great amenity that we have here. We'll show you a short video of that.
Those are micro commercials that tourism has put together very beautifully.
Yeah.
New trail. There.
Yeah,
you worked on that
just
one.
Monday, we have a new trail that's going in that we just did the groundbreaking. Stephen Nation. We named this whole trail system after Judge Nation, now Counselor Nation, because what trails do is they connect people together, and nobody better has connected people together than Steve Nation. And so we just did this dedication there. This will come from Catherine into the White River Campground. on here, and it will also be expanded from that point. The other thing that we'll talk about on the White River campground is this is one of the most used campgrounds in the country. It's in the top 100 campgrounds in the country. We just was able to acquire 11 more acres on there just adjacent to this. We'll expand our septic system on there and also expand the park, because the minute we put this out for rental, it's sold out usually the next day. It
We
is
have full
absolutely
hookups
beautiful.
for RVs and primitive camping. It goes from both ranges. It truly is an asset.
Without a doubt. And then we will move to special topics.
Which you would note is close to the end. I'd like to tell people you could just have to sit in those chairs a few more minutes. Probably the hardest thing these past couple years with COVID and all the activities, probably the hardest we've worked as commissioners and councils worked. We received a gift of $65 million called the American Rescue Plan from the federal government. But with that millions, it was pretty restrictive on what we could use it on. We've gotten creative within bounds, but we wanted to use that money on impactful projects. I mean, this gift won't come to us again. So let's go through some of the things we're looking at.
One of the things that, as Christine mentioned, is restrictive. You can use it for water, infrastructure, wastewater, drainage type projects, and also recovery from COVID there along with broadband. So you do have a lot of restrictions on what you could use it. One of the things that we knew that we needed to do is there were a lot of failing septic systems up in the Baker's Corner area, which is being redeveloped right now, where there's an interchange that you see right here off of US 31 and 236th Street, where we believe there will be a lot of economic development there right here at that interchange. We do have funding all the way from US 31 to Tollgate, all the way to Cicero, which will widen that road. We also have funding from US 31 all the way into Sheridan that will widen and provide multi-use pasture. When this is finished, 2025, you'll be able to ride a bike pretty much all the way from Sheridan into around the Cicero area. But these are some of the sites. And so one of the things that we knew that needed to happen was to put in a wastewater treatment plant there, and to be able to provide clean water and help with some of those septic systems up in that particular area. This first phase is going to happen at US 31 and 236th Street. As I mentioned, you'll see where the wastewater treatment plant is going to be put. That'll be the site of it, which is owned by NDOT right now. And then on spring of 2023 is when we expect construction to start. If we get through all the IDEM and public hearings, and if that's positive, and then be complete in 2024. The cost of this is $45 million, but the county is using $25 million of ARPA funds. We also got $10 million from the state from their ARPA funds, and then the county will bond another $10 million to get this done to help there in that particular area, which will transform that
To put
area.
it in perspective, I had to sit in the commissioner's seat when we almost threw people out of their houses in Baker's Corner, because those septic systems are so old, the health department doesn't have record of them, and we found that many were connected directly from house to regulated drain. So it was truly a pollution issue and a public health issue, and I think this will go a long way to fix that problem.
Absolutely. Logan Street Bridge of Flowers. Pretty cool project.
When we redid the Logan Street Bridge, as you know, driving around Noblesville, we put the bump out on that bridge for the walkway. We wanted to activate that area. Dick and Margaret Gordon came to us and said, we travel a lot, we've got this great idea, we saw this bridge of flowers. And that idea percolated and percolated, and now we have a project that we're going to start in August, I hope, and then have it completed by fall. These are some renderings This is what the bridge that's the pop-out that'll be activated. Go through just what we've got now and what it'll look like. It really will be a nice focal point for your community.
One of the other things that we did to enhance this bridge was we put a lighting system that
Well,
you're going to see.
Go ahead. I was remiss. It's a shared, Noblesville has picked up the vast majority of this project and is running it.
Absolutely.
It's
Credit
a
to the
partnership
city of
between the
Noblesville.
county and Noblesville.
One of the other enhancements that we thought that would really set off this particular bridge is a lighting system that we'll show you right here. Green for St. Patrick's Day, red for Valentine's Day. We did yellow to support Ukraine and everything. It's a different enhancement, and we won a statewide award as Project of the Year for this particular bridge. And then finally,
Our new one, finally. That's a good intro. Finally, we're on the way for a new women's shelter. You know, when we're done, no longer will women need to go to Anderson to have services. No longer will children have to be in a school bus for hours upon end to get to their home school. There's a lot of restrictions with emergency shelters, so we're moving to a concept of emergency shelter for a short period and then transitional housing to stabilize the families until they can go out on their own with some help with Prevail. So we're excited about this. We've got the land under contract, we closed on it actually. It's a beautiful site. It'll be very restorative to those families once we activate it.
this area right here he just showed in the red will show that particular property is about 8.5 acres.
It's very pretty.
And then finally, this would not be a state of the county address if we didn't have the talking seagulls. That's a tradition that Commissioner Dillinger has done every year, and so this is how it's a tribute to...
And he has threatened us over the year. I mean, all year he threatens. Remember, I have the clicker on the state of the county. So unfortunately, he fell to COVID, and we got the clicker. So it's our turn.
So we changed it. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, you just lost your breath. It's done. Thank you. No.
I just about lost my... Great job. Thanks for the invite. You know what? When I saw those flowers on the bridge, I'm like, why is the county paying for that? Noble.
Thank you all for coming today. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mark and Christine, for a great presentation. Scott Lindenberg, you have won the door prize from Tailored Systems. You can go over to the Tailored Systems table to pick that up. Scott Lindberg. Stephanie Flores from Good Samaritan Network. Carmen Clift from Beck's Chimney Sweeps. Cott Goff from the Sheriff's Office. And Jeff Larson from United Consulting have all won a copy of David Highway's book, signed book, and you can come up to the stage and pick that up. So Stephanie Flores, Carmen Clift, Scott Goff, and Jeff Larson. Thank you for joining us.